Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. I just had the privilege of going to Switzerland for the first time in my life. Just posted two sets of pictures, going to post the third set sometime in the next few days. But the highlight of my adventure was to walk on an ice path covered with snow. Well, it wasn't that icy, it was a little bit icy, covered with snow, and have the mountains behind me or to the side of me. Absolutely fabulous. Made our tour director kind of hyperventilate because she was so afraid that as we age up, that the people who were walking with walking sticks or canes, who were overweight, who were just unsteady on their feet, could hurt themselves. No one did. Everybody loved it. And I I found that Lucerne of the 4 towns she took us to, we started with Basel, we went to Bern, we went to Lucerne, and then to Zurich. Lucerne has got to be my favorite town in the entire world. I thought if I ever lived overseas, I would live in London, but it's going to have to be displaced. Next to Lucerne, just absolutely love the town. The people everywhere were gracious, um, very happy to serve us. Everybody spoke English. Um, Almost, nowhere did we find anything but just the best, highest treatment. And the food was fabulous. Tiny bit expensive, not that much more. And when it got to the cost where we felt that it cost too much, we just split an entree, took an appetizer or took a dessert, or and then just split an entree, and that satisfied both of us. So the gal who was my I shared a room with. Anyway, just happy to be back. And today, our topic of discussion is the third chakra. Interestingly enough, 85% of the world's population lives in the first, second, and third chakra. They never get above it. The third chakra is especially important. They're all important, but this one is especially important. It's because it's the area of personal will. And as you watch the demonstrations that are going across the country, you will see how many people are exercising their personal will to say, to object, to state what it is that they want to see happen. It's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. Your personal will is what motivates you when you feel completely oppressed by the situation. Your personal will is your driving force. Uh, just incredible part of your body. But let's start from the top. First of all, the color is yellow. So those of you who remember, the root chakra is red, the sacral is orange, then this is yellow. So I literally see it as a miniature sun, just very, very brilliant. And those people who have a very well attuned personal third chakra. Um, it is a, a storage, a powerhouse for you. It has, it helps you focus on specific direction. It deals with your intellectual mind and with your reasoning power. It's connected. The third chakra is connected to the seventh, I'm sorry, sixth chakra, the third eye. And so this is the seat of intuitive sense. This is the seat of personal sense. It analyzes and it makes us, it paces us to keep our heads held high, because oppression doesn't matter where it comes from. It can be a spouse, it can be a neighbor, it can be a colleague, it can be a relative, it can be a parent, it can be a child. Oppression causes us to feel as if our face were being pushed in the dirt. That's called groveling. And nobody on this planet likes that feeling. Oppression is administered probably to much of humanity, to most of humanity, because most of humanity feels powerless against what they are subjected to. Most of humanity, a very, very, very small percentage of humanity, feels like they own their own power. That's why the title of my book is Own Your Power. You just have to accept what it is that you were given. The third chakra is what helps distribute the thoughts that come in through you. Instead of just mindless thinking, the third chakra gives you a focal point and it says, okay, this is what's important right now, according to what it is that you want. Because the most important thing in the world is, what do you want? What do you want? Not what do your children want from you, what your spouse wants from you, what your partner wants from you, what society wants from you. What do you want? That is critical. And this is where the third chakra helps to strengthen that resolve inside of you. So it, like I said, it helps to distribute thoughts. It helps you form new ideas, brand new ideas. Sometimes you wonder, where did that thought come from? I'll guarantee you it's your guides making space for themselves within the clutter of the thoughts that come into your mind. This is why I so recommend that you take the first 15 minutes, more if you can, and channel and get spirit's message coming in from you before you start your day, before all the other stuff comes into your mind. The third chakra activates our drives. What are we really after? What is it that motivates us? What is it that pushes us? Um, Recently, I have had the privilege of doing Reiki on several people that said, gee, I had an operation on my knees 40 years ago and they still hurt. And when I energetically looked at their knees, what I saw, and I didn't know how to describe it. So what I saw was like a flat piece of tendon that was stapled underneath the kneecap. And so I said, I don't know what happened 40 years ago, but get this checked because something is wrong. Somehow, what you were put, how it was put back together, how the kneecap, when it was replaced, uh, whatever happened, there is something wrong there. And fortunately, the gentleman went, and sure enough, finally, an enlightened doctor figured it out. And he's having reconstructive, I guess, surgery or whatever is happening to him. Another gal um, wrote me and said, uh, you maybe have saved my life because when you were doing Reiki on me, when you got to my stomach, you said, I don't know why, but I feel nauseous when I'm at your stomach. So she kept having it checked and checked and checked and checked. And everybody said there's nothing there, but she kept hearing my words. I feel nauseous. So finally, somebody discovered a tumor. And I think it took a CAT scan to discover it. And CAT scans are, to the best of my knowledge, like $2,000. So that's the last thing they want to do for you. So uh, they just will be happier just telling you, go home and take 2 Tylenol or whatever they tell you. So anyway, this is um, important. The third chakra is important in you getting your life to a place that you are happy with. And let's say, I mean, I've had people come to me that said, all right, I'm 70 years old and I still haven't figured out what I want to do when I grow up. You laugh, but I think I get it. I can understand that. There's an unfinished goal in their head. There's something that keeps them unsettled, and they need to figure out what it is and why they have to keep going, and to figure it out. But so the third chakra helps move us towards the goals that we may have set when we were in spirit. You didn't even come to this planet yet, and you set goals with your higher self as to what you were going to accomplish. Some of those goals may have been in the second half of your life. Some may have been in the third half, the third portion. Some have been maybe at the end of your life. I once heard my guides tell me, we don't care if you do this on your deathbed. You're going to do it before you leave the planet. And what was this? Teaching about God, but not the God of my fathers, the God of an all accepting, all creative, all powerful God that who passes on that power to us. Okay. Third chakra, another reason it's so important. We store our fears and we store our anger there. Our anger, the instruments that, or I should say, the organs that are affected by our anger, our kidneys, gallbladder, liver, bile duct, um, pancreas, spleen, adrenal glands, and middle back, middle spine. So, how many of those organs have recently shown up as large numbers of cancer victims, especially pancreatic cancer? There was a time where you never heard of pancreatic cancer, and now it's coming to the forefront more and more and more and more, because more and more and more people are recognizing that they're internalizing anger. And it's in the internalizing that you bring disease into your body. So you have to really be careful with that. Another thing you have to be careful with is making simple statements like, that makes me so pissed off. Those words, pissed off, directly affect your kidneys. If you're in a habit of saying that, stop it. Just stop it. Don't you bring forth, don't put any energy into that which you do not want to experience, which means that even looking at the news can be dangerous to your health. If you get so riled up, so wrapped up because of what you hear. So just be conscious of the fact that, yes, you can look at the news, but you've got to stand back as an impassioned observer. You have to stand back as a witness to what is coming forth. Send your light, send your love, but do not get choked up over what is happening out there. Very bad for you. Let's see, what else can be affected? Your abdomen, your stomach, your upper intestines, besides the what I had just mentioned. And I can remember one colleague that I used to work with very closely shared the same last name with me, and many, many people would ask her, "Are you sisters?" And we weren't, but she would always say yes. And that kind of like, made them happy, that they figured it out. So, but anyway, she came down with a particular disease I had never heard of the bile duct. She was given one pill a month that she had to take to the tune of $1,800. She asked the doctor, "How long do I have to take this?" And he goes, "Depends. How long do you want to live?" But she didn't make it. She was younger than I am, and she passed away, I'm going to say about 5 years ago. So I felt very, very bad. She was a lovely person, and but just somehow or other, that disease took her down. Okay, some of the mental and emotional issues that are related to the third chakra. First and foremost, trust. If you can't trust what another person says, there is something inside of you that flips around. And to me, it feels like your third chakra reverses, or maybe one of the cones reverse, because I particularly loved the words of Patrick Monahan from New York. And admonishing another one of his colleagues, he said, "You are entitled to all your opinions, but you're not entitled to your own facts." And that is what we have seen flipped upside down. We have seen facts called alternative facts. Well, in my lexicon, alternative facts are lies. So the only thing that is the result of that experience is that you cease to trust. And that is very, very sad, because trust is a gift from the Creator. Trusting that your outcome is assured, trusting that salvation is not for a chosen few. Salvation does not depend on whether or not you belong to a certain cult or a certain religion or a certain thought processes. Has nothing to do with it. You come from eternity. You have this time on this planet. You have similar times on other planets. Um, you can choose to be animal, vegetable, or mineral, and you go back to eternity. That's the whole line of it. So technically, you were never born and you never die, because you just have this little bit of time here. So my feeling is, make the best of it. Find a way to really flip. And if it means just flipping your own attitude about things, then that's what you have to do. You can't change what's out there, but you can control your attitude about it. And that might be the only thing you can control. Okay, so trust is extremely important. As I mentioned before, fear. Fear is associated very, very closely with intimidation. People who are insecure govern with fear. All the oligarchs govern with fear. And people get to the point where if they are even afraid to object because they know that they have been threatened with retribution if they object. Bad. Very, very bad. Self esteem. Very, very important. This is the area of self esteem, but it's also the area of self confidence and self respect. So, self esteem, self confidence, self respect all go hand in hand, all go together to help you negotiate through your situation here. Care of others is part of the third chakra. Ability to make decisions, I think I already covered that. Sensitivity to criticism, which most people don't really recognize is an issue. They just get mad. Like, don't criticize me. I'm right. You're wrong. And they don't allow for the possibility of any other way of thinking. So, sensitivity to criticism. And the last thing, personal honor. Your ability to go through life honorably. So, anyway, I am going to stop because I do like to cut it off at 20 minutes. I never succeed, but I do like to cut it off. I do thank you for being here. I'm happy to be back. And for the most part, I don't see any trips in the near future. So I should be able to come back weekly again and own your power day by day. Best meditation book out there. You only have to read 2 pages a day. So it's a quick read, but it gives you something to think about every single day. It gives you a new thought. It expands your mind. And in expanding your mind, it expands your energy field. So really, really, really promote it. I feel that I'm very happy to have written it and offer it to you for $20. It's on my website, Alicia, ALICJA, Jones.com. And all my other services are on there too. Love to all of you that are on, and love to all of you that come in the future. Because I have a lot of people that will not maybe show up for the 1 o'clock time frame, but will touch base in the future. So thank you all, and blessings for the week. I know this is Palm Sunday coming up, and Easter is around the corner. And I guess uh, in the I think it's Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. I'm not sure that that's also. I should know it, but I don't. So I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to double check that for the next time I come on. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Let's see.